Hey everyone! According to a survey conducted by the Daily Mail, only 38% of Americans believe Joe Biden will be alive by the end of his second term, while only 54% believe Trump will survive his second term if elected. Not a huge vote of confidence in either man living in their golden years. Well, let's break down the reality of their age and if they can complete their second term. It makes me wonder why anybody over the age of 65 would want to deal with the threats of war, the economy, and knowing billions of people's lives are impacted by each and every one of your decisions. Being president of the United States is super stressful. It's a 24/7 job. Dealing with the pandemic, race relations, the threat of war, and the economy, as well as Putin and China, it's no joke. Now, just look at what 8 years in office did to George W. Bush and what 8 years in office did to Barack Obama. Whew, must have been a stressful time. Now, most people at that age are winding down, going on cruises, spending time with their grandchildren, and having fun on the golf course or bridge table. So how much stock would you put into this poll? While none of us have a crystal ball, we can guesstimate the odds based on the average lifespan of white American males. The average life expectancy for white males in the United States in 2022 was 73.7 years old. That's lower than the previous mark of 76.1, which was impacted by COVID and knocked 2.4 years off the average. Joe Biden is already the oldest president in the United States. He's currently 81 years old, and if elected for a second term, he'll be 86 years old by the time he leaves office at the end of 2028. Roughly 12 years longer than the average lifespan for the white males in the United States. To be fair, Trump isn't a spring chicken either. He'll be 78 by election night and will be 82 years old by the time he completes his second term in 2028 if he's re-elected. Roughly 8 years longer than the average American white male lifespan. Now, the leading cause of death for men in the U.S. are heart disease, cancer, unintentional death, COVID, and stroke. Both Biden and Trump show red flags that they could fall victim to heart disease and stroke. In 1998, Joe Biden underwent surgery to repair 2 brain aneurysms. At the time, he was serving as a U.S. Senator from Delaware. This health scare temporarily sidelined him from his duties. Additionally, Biden has been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, a condition characterized by irregular heartbeat rhythms. This condition is commonly managed with medication. What Biden does have going for him is that both his parents lived long lives. His father passed away at age 86 succumbing to heart failure, and his mother passed away at age 92 after a fall at her home. Now, Trump also has his own health issues. His weight has been the subject of constant discussion, and he's been reported to be overweight or obese based on BMI scale metrics. He also has a reputation for loving fast food and drinking Diet Cokes like it's going out of style. Also, other than golf, he lives a rather sedentary lifestyle, according to insiders and the media. In 2008, Trump underwent a routine physical examination, which included a coronary calcium CT scan, revealing a score indicating coronary artery disease. However, his physician at the time, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, stated that Trump was in excellent overall health. Like Biden, Trump's parents also lived very long lives. His father lived to 93 years old and passed away from pneumonia. However, back when his father was 85 years old, back in 1991, he was diagnosed with mild senile dementia, with his physician citing symptoms of obvious memory decline in recent years and significant memory impairment. A few months later, another physician reported that Fred Trump did not know his birth date or age, amongst other difficulties. I don't want to sound negative, but a certain movie pops into my head. Americans have a right to be concerned about both their ages and ability to finish 4 years in office under very stressful conditions that could include dealing with the Ukraine and Russia situation, Israel and the Middle East, and potential moves by China, in addition to dealing with the border crisis and other issues facing Americans like the economy. The reality of their ages can't be ignored, which makes their vice presidents even more important in this election. Biden's running mate Kamala Harris's poll numbers are currently 37.2% approval and 52.3% disapproval, which are very low and not a good sign. Trump, meanwhile, still hasn't named his candidate yet, but he should consider a candidate who is younger and someone who Americans believe could step into the role of president if Trump has to step aside. Currently, a few of the candidates that he's looking at include New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, South Carolina Congressman Tim Scott, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who worked for the previous Trump administration as press secretary, and Florida Senator Marco Rubio. American voters should be concerned about Trump and Biden's old age and their ability to fulfill their duties as president. Our current system put together a rematch that many Americans aren't excited about and leave many concerned about the country's leadership, which is noted in the Daily Mail survey. American voters should be concerned about Trump and Biden's old age and their ability to fulfill their duties as president. Our current system put together a rematch that many Americans aren't excited about and leave many concerned about the country's leadership. If you like this video, click like and subscribe below.